From Inwood, New York City, welcome to Inwood Artworks On Air. It's where I meet the musicians, filmmakers, writers, theater makers, and artists of all stripes who make their home what we affectionately call upstate Manhattan. I'm your host, Aaron Sims, and this podcast is dedicated to showcasing musicians of Upper Manhattan. This is a special concert edition of Live and Local, featuring the Inwood Chamber Players performing a chamber concert featuring lively dance pieces for Woodwind Octect, which includes some arrangements by Inwood resident Gilbert Dejean. We titled the concert Dancing Through the Centuries, in tribute to the selections you'll hear from the composers that make up this light and joyful program, which was recorded live on February 25th, 2024 at Good Shepherd Auditorium. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Dancing Through the Centuries.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? All right? Great. My name is Aaron Sims. I'm the founder and executive producer of Inwood Artworks, and welcome to the first concert in our 2024 season. Yes, a season of concerts, which we've never done before. And the only reason why it's a season is because of you. We started off doing these, Gil, maybe 3 years ago or so, and we're going to try something here. We did one here, we did one at the church, and then we did a couple more, and so we're going to do about 6 concerts this year, which is pretty wonderful. And I want to thank Gil for putting together this one today here for the Inwood Chamber Players you see before us here. Our favorite group, don't tell the others. And today you're here for Dances Through the Centuries, and Gil will tell you more about it, and he did all the arrangements for all these wonderful pieces in your program today. It will last about an hour long, and afterwards a nice reception here for you. Thank you very much for being here today, and enjoy the Inwood Chamber Players.
So welcome everyone. I'd like to thank Carol Mulligan for inspiring me to actually put this concert together. What happened, some of you might have come to the holiday concert back in December, and Carol was there, and I saw her a few weeks later at the Inwood Farm Cafe, and she asked me when the next concert was, and I told her it was June 2nd, and she said to me, I can't wait that long. So it inspired me to actually put something together in the interim, but I have to make a correction. All these arrangements are not mine. There are 2 of them that are mine. I just didn't have enough time. It takes weeks and months to make the arrangements, do input thousands of notes in the computer, spit out parts, and do the editing. So I made 2 small arrangements of this, but the rest are by other people. Okay, so we're starting out, we're going to go sort of in chronological order through various centuries and various dance forms. The first one are Hungarian Renaissance dances, and
from Hungarian, and also the Slavonic dances too.
oh, great.
That's my heart.
Oh, great, I'm glad we brought that in. Okay, so most of them are pretty standard dance styles. There's Saltarello, which is an Italian style dance with triplets that Mendelssohn used in his Italian symphony. But in the first set of dances, the one that's really odd is the Heiduckentanz dance, which is actually a dance that soldiers dance using swords. So the other ones are much more standard. I'll talk about the Elizabethan dances after we do this first set. next we have what should be actually in the program, 3 Elizabethan fancies. So these are a combination of songs and dances that were sung around the time of Queen Elizabeth I, which is like around 1600 through about 1630. The Carman's Whistle is actually a very popular song because back then, the people who drove the buggies, the horses, were called Carman. And one of the ways that they would control the horses and also warn people that they were coming through was to whistle. So it became a very popular tune, and that's what's called the Carman whistle. It's a very common thing for them to do. So the three dances we just played was by Gordon Jacob, who was a 20th century composer, also like Ferenc Farkas, but you can see that Gordon Jacob was richer in terms of harmony because Gordon Jacob introduced some of his own harmonic language in the piece, unlike Farkas, who basically kept it in the old style. The next piece on our program, we're going chronologically. We're going to jump to the 18th century, and this is actually one of my arrangements, and this is the Menuet from Mozart's 39th Symphony. The clarinet was invented around the time of Mozart, and Mozart loved the clarinet. And he started to introduce it in various works, and he wrote three wonderful pieces for the concerto, a quintet for clarinet and strings, a piece for viola, clarinet, and piano. This is actually one of the later symphonies. This is Symphony 39. He wrote 41 of them. And this particular movement actually features the clarinet. You'll hear the clarinet play a really beautiful melody in the trio. So this will feature our clarinet section. So next in our program are two Hungarian dances by Brahms. Brahms originally wrote these pieces for two pianos, and they became very, very popular, and he rearranged them for just piano. Originally it was two pianos, but just one piano. And what happened over the years is that they were so popular over such a long period of time that various conductors and other composers arranged them for large orchestra. They're also very popular to the extent that they were used in many cartoons. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard. Now, number 7, we're doing number 3 and number 7, and number 7 was actually used in a Looney Tunes cartoon, The Three Little Pigs. So I'm sure that you'll recognize the tune. It's really, it's very well done. So we jump a little further ahead and to Dvorak, who wrote 2 sets of Slavonic dances, and we're going to do 2 of them. And the thing about Dvorak, though, is that he originally wrote these for 2 pianos, but unlike Brahms, these became so popular that his publisher told him to orchestrate all of them. So most of us have played these over the years. They're great, absolutely fantastic pieces. And we're going to do 2 of them for you today. And they're very hard.
Oh, gosh.
So now we're going to relax a little bit, to all those notes, and move a little bit more chronologically into late 19th, early 20th century. So the next piece is The Skater's Waltz by Emil Holterfeuille. But The Skater's Waltz is probably his second most famous piece. His most famous piece, you probably have heard old commercials for Rheingold beer. And Estudianita was, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. And that was like, and that was taken from that other waltz of his, which we're not doing today. I wanted something appropriate for the winter since we've actually had a little snow. So this is a skater's waltz. actually was one of my arrangements. So, so we have one more piece on your program, so we're going to have you going out, shaking your hips. We're going to do boogie, the boogie woogie, which will feature David on clarinet. That's some great stuff to play in this piece, but we're leaping into the 20th century.
Once more, let's hear it for the Inwood Chamber Players.
What a fantastic performance, and I have to say, our first concert ever in February, kicking off our 2024 concert season. And you want to know more about it, you can go to inwoodartworks.nyc and check out under our Stageworks profile all the great concerts we have coming your way this year. Once again, I want to thank Gilbert Dejean and the Inwood Chamber Players for a wonderful performance of Dancing Through the Centuries. And thanks again to all those who came out from the Inwood community to experience this concert firsthand, and to you for listening here today. If you like what you heard, and how could you not, please share this podcast with your friends and rate and review this Apple Podcast on 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And please join us for all our upcoming concerts. This concludes this special live and local concert episode of Inwood Artworks On Air. Many thanks to Church of Good Shepherd for hosting us, and for HeightSites.com for all their uptown promotional support. You can support On Air and all of our programming by making a tax-free donation at inwoodartworks.nyc/donate or via Venmo at Inwood Artworks. Be sure to follow us on social media and keep up all that we do, which includes the Inwood Film Festival, Filmworks Al Fresco, pop-up art galleries, live performances, and so much more. Inwood Artworks On Air is proud to be supported in part by public funds, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council. And Inwood Artworks programming is made possible by the New York State Council on the Arts with the support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature. From the top of Manhattan and the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for tuning in. This is a very special concert edition of Inwood Artworks On Air.